Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Collector Car Canada Car Reviews podcast. Today we have another couple of special cars. I'm chuckling to myself because I can't believe our luck in securing such great cars. Right in front of me here you see a 2001 Porsche Boxster S, 6-speed manual. So with the S, it's got the 3.2 liter engine with bigger horsepower than the base model. This car has under 35,000 kilometers on it, and better than that, it is a specially decorated car. At the 2019 PCA UCR Concours d'Elegance Porsche Club of America Upper Canada region, this car not only won its class, but it won the Judges Award for the top car of the day among over 250 member cars. And we're not talking about scruffy old cars from the wrong side of the track. We're talking about all Porsches, many turbos, air-cooled 911s, the whole bit. So yeah, watch for this one, CollectorCarCanada.CA, lot 197. It'll pop up after we talk about an even more of a unicorn car, 1986 Chevrolet Corvette convertible. So the first Corvette convertible since 1975, and the first C4 Corvette convertible. But far beyond that, this 86 Chevrolet Corvette convertible with a manual transmission, the 4+3 speed Doug Nash transmission, has 18 kilometers on it. No, not 18,000, 18 kilometers. So 1986 Chevrolet Corvette convertible, 4+3 speed manual transmission with 18 kilometers. Lot 196 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. We'll look at that one first, and then we'll have a very close look at this 2001 Porsche Boxster S with 6-speed manual and under 35,000 kilometers. The trophies are photographed on our listing, but they do not go with the car. The current owner is going to keep his trophies. Maybe that could be a side deal after the fact. Thanks for watching. Please do remember to like, share, and subscribe to these videos if you like what you're seeing. Thank you. Here are the cars. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Car Reviews podcast on CollectorCarCanada.CA. Today we're going to talk about a true unicorn. It is hard to believe, but we have on offer a 1986 Chevrolet Corvette convertible with the 4+3 Doug Nash manual transmission. The car has traveled 18 kilometers. No, that's not 18,000 kilometers, which would be low. It's not 1,800 kilometers. It's not even 180. This car has 18 kilometers on the clock. This car is black on a charcoal interior with a black top. So the 18 kilometers are corroborated by service records and the Carfax, both of which are offered on our online listing. The detailed listing, you'll find it as lot 196 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. So yeah, a little bit about the car. Again, it's finished in its original black on a charcoal leather interior with a black top. It was originally delivered by Current Chevolds of Port Coquitlam, BC, and sits in BC as we record this. It is in Burnaby, BC. Now this car was special ordered. It was not part of a dealer inventory. Also on our listing, our documentation includes the original bill of sale, which is dated March of 1986, and the delivery documents from the dealer, as well as licensing documents from the province, are dated August 1986. So yeah, a special order car, not at a dealer inventory. This car sat in a showroom for over 30 years on display, and the current owner picked it up at that time. He bought it in 2017 and has kept it as part of an impressive collection of domestics, and has continued to treat it as a museum piece without putting any miles on it. So the 1986 Corvette convertible, interesting thing about it, it was the first year of a Corvette convertible since 1975, which of course was a C3. The C4, fourth generation of Corvette, made its appearance for the 1984 model year after missing a model year in 1983. So yeah, in 1984 and 1985, new C4 Corvettes were produced. However, these were available in coupe form only. The Corvettes did not come until, or sorry, the convertibles did not come until the 1986 model year. So it would have been a big deal for this car to have been ordered in March of '86. I've just gone back to the door jamb tag, VIN tag on the car, and it notes a manufacture date of July 1986. So again, that piece of the puzzle fits with it being a dealer order. That's another piece of information that is available on our detailed listing. So yeah, the 1986 Corvette, factory rated at 230 horsepower and 330 pound-feet of torque. The torque is achieved at a relatively low RPM rate, so the power of this car is accomplished pretty quickly. So we're calling this one on our listing an NOS car. Normally this acronym is saved for parts. People with older cars might have seen it when looking for parts for their car. NOS, new old stock, as in produced many years ago, but unused. So we're calling this one an NOS. There is a clean Carfax, as I say, available on the listing. You can review that. So very excitement-free Carfax. It does set out the current owner as having purchased the car in 2017. And the condition, you can go through all of our photos. It is consistent with no use at all. On this car, we have few videos because we are not in a position to do a driving video. Of course, we didn't want to put miles on the car, but you can find videos for both cold start with the engine idling and the exhaust, as well as a good walk around video to support our assessment that there's been no use of this car. The car has had some work in the recent past. In 2018, shortly after the current owner's acquisition, the fuel system was reconditioned. So this came at a cost of $6,000 when other fluid changes were considered. So the work order for this work is on the listing. Most recently, it was at Carter GM, which is in the Greater Vancouver area. It had a synthetic oil change and a pop-up headlight repair done. So this is in autumn of 2023. Again, the work order for this one's on the listing as well. At the time, there was some recall work done for safety belt retraction. There are no open recalls currently on the Carfax. So this car, 1986 Chevrolet Corvette convertible, 4+3 speed manual transmission. The +3 refers to the Corvette setup at the time for the manuals. It merely indicates that 2, 3, and 4 have overdrive by press button. So that's so that you don't have to worry about getting up into fourth gear at city speeds on such a powerful car. You just use the overdrive in 2, 3, and 4. So this car is ready to be enjoyed as a time capsule or maintained as the museum piece it currently is. So much so that, yes, it does come with the original Goodyear Gatorback VR50 radials installed on the turbine-style original wheels. So again, lot 196 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. This is going to be an interesting one to watch. So good luck, bidders, and thank you for watching. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Collector Car Canada Car Reviews podcast. Today we have a special unit. It's a 2001 Porsche Boxster S with a 6-speed manual. And I say a special unit because this car has been a winner at Porsche Club of America Upper Canada Region Concours d'Elegance. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in the video. So I've shown you the top and its operation, power top as you saw. Let's start it up, and with the mid-engine we're not going to take a look at the engine compartment itself. You can see lots of photos of it on our detailed listing for lot 197. But we'll start it up and we'll at least have a listen to the exhaust. So starting up, you might notice the ignition key is on the left side of the steering wheel. A Porsche tradition from the Grand Prix days, I believe, of the 60s, when racers would sprint to their cars, so they wanted their right hand free for the shifter. That's why the key was turned with the left. So just wandering around to the rear of the Boxster S. One tell that this is a Boxster S cosmetically is that it was equipped with the twin round pipes you see, whereas the base models had a single oval pipe. So I'll cut the engine and we'll take a look at the exterior of the car. So another special item about this car is that it's finished in speed yellow. You don't see too many Boxsters or Porsches, for that matter, in modern days with such a bright color. I spend quite a bit of time at car events where I see Porsches, and there are lots of silver, lots of white, lots of black. The yellow really pops in this car. And as I said, this car has the S trim. Trim sells it short. I did show you the two pipes on the rear. That's the big tell for me in terms of being able to distinguish this from a base model. But just a little history on the Boxster. The base model was first released in 1997, at least the 1997 model year, and it was credited by some for saving the Porsche mark. The German mark had been very valuable relative to the US dollar in the 90s, and the transaxle cars were starting to wane in popularity. So transaxles, think 924, 944, 968, and then of course the V8 water-cooled 928. This sort of indicated a return to the roots of Porsche. Not a rear engine car. The engine's in the center here underneath this roof panel, but behind the seats nevertheless. So some say the layout's inspired by the 914, but certainly a lot closer to the 911, which itself was undergoing great change. It shifted over to water-cooled. And off the top of my head, I can't remember if that was the 97 or 98 model year. I'm thinking 98, but big changes at Porsche at that time, and we all know the financial powerhouse it's become since. In any event, the Boxster S, so that 97 Boxster came with a 2.5 liter inline or flat six engine. It was bumped up to 2.7 for the 2000 model year, which is also the first year of the Boxster S. So the Boxster S 3.2 liter flat six engine. This was rated by the factory at 250 horsepower. So quite a surge from the 2.7 base model. And another nice thing for all you gear shifters out there is that instead of the base model's 5-speed, this one comes with a 6-speed. So a little taller gearing with the extra power. I did say the 250 horsepower, 225 pounds-feet of torque as well. So yeah, just a look at the exterior. The original Sport Performance wheels are in place. They're an 18-inch number. The tires you see on the car were installed in 2021. If my history on the car is correct, they've got about 8,000 or 10,000 kilometers on them. There are close-up photos of them on the detailed listing, as well as an inspection report that sets out all the tire, not just the tire depths, but also the brake pad thickness. Continuing around the car. So everything on this car from the windshield forward looks identical to the period 996. So the 996 generation of 911 from 98 to 2001 was identical to the front of this Boxster. In 2002, they put the turbo style headlights on the 911. So a slight differentiation, but still very similar. A neat feature of this particular car, I don't normally talk about license plates, but you can see PCA UCR on that license plate, and that stands for Porsche Club of America Upper Canada Region. So that's the, well, it's a self-explanatory name, but certainly the local Ontario region of the Porsche Club of America. To the surprise of many, that Ontario region, Upper Canada region, is the second largest region in the PCA umbrella by measured in terms of number of members. And so certainly it's the largest in Canada, number 2 in the whole club. And there's also a neat little sticker here in the windshield. The club gives these away to its members. But I'm talking about the club mostly because in 2019, I personally happened to be at the Concours d'Elegance. So that's an annual show where the UCR region invites all its members to show its cars, and it's a judged event. There are 2 levels of judging. There's the proper concours, and there's the People's Choice Awards. Most people just opt for the People's Choice, and all cars are eligible for other attendees to vote on. But this was entered in the proper Concours d'Elegance. So as I say, I was there that day, and I was not surprised to see this car win its class. So it probably would have been up against other 986 series Boxsters, maybe all Boxsters, I'm not sure of that. But it won its class, and for a car this clean, which we're showing you, today it has under 35,000 kilometers. But for a car this clean, that was not a big surprise to me. But with 250 plus cars in attendance, we're talking 911 turbos, we're talking the most proper 911s, air-cooled 911s, and even the modern 911s, which some of them just rolled out of the dealership. This car won Judge's Choice for the top car of the day among those 250 plus. So I like to try to find the differentiators in each car we run here on Collector Car Canada. Not many I can say won the Judge's Choice Award at a PCA UCR event. So just continuing on to the further back in the rear, you see on the side there are these scoops, the intake. So that's an indication that we're working with a mid-engine car, because as I say, the engine is underneath this portion of the roof. So those would feed the engine. I like these roll hoops in place here, and it's kind of neat that they're in the matching speed yellow. In case I miss it when we talk about the interior, this console is also finished in the speed yellow, which provides a nice contrast in the interior, which is primarily black, and even the seat belts are finished in yellow. So that really gives it a sporty feel. You saw when we operated the roof for you that this panel raises and lowers automatically with the operation of the roof. There's a center high mounted stoplight here, the third brake light, Boxster S badging. So when I talked about the exhaust pipes, that's a giveaway, of course, that it's an S. But the taillights are the same as on a base model Boxster. You do kind of need to be knowing what you're looking for to differentiate. So why don't we take a look at the inside of the car. I hope the cameraman got a good shot of those Sport Performance wheels. In case he didn't, now's the opportunity, but if he did, let's move on to the interior. So I'm not going to climb in. So you can see this car has leather seats. One thing I noticed, keen Porsche observers might notice this as well. There's a shelf right here intended for the owner's manual. I see it's not in place right now, but the owner's manual is definitely included with this car. There are photos of it and other factory documentation on the listing. So black leather, and they call this full leather. So full leather in Porsche parlance isn't talking just about the seats and the steering wheel, but the dash cover is covered in leather. These door cards are covered in leather. You can see the that there's some contrasting stitch here indicating the full leather option. This car is very well optioned. I don't know them all off the top of my head, but we do have a list of all of the options for the car on our listing, CollectorCarCanada.CA, lot 197. And on the original build sheet, or the MSRP window sticker, those options were worth at $19,000 of the greater than $90,000 MSRP on this car. And we're talking in 2001 dollars, of course. So as I read it now, I see 34,582 kilometers. So this car is going to get to its new owner with under 35,000 kilometers. The instrumentation is all business like you'd expect from a Porsche. In the center, there's an 8,000 RPM tachometer with a 7,200 RPM red line. To its left is the speedometer, metric only on the analog side, up to 300 kilometers on the white facing. And below, there's a digital readout, which can be flipped back and forth between metric and kilometers an hour. So a road trip to New York State or farther, flick the button and you've got a speed readout digitally in miles per hour. On the right side, we've got a water temperature gauge and a fuel gauge, as well as a clock. Moving over to the center console, we've got these retractable cup holders. Pretty neat, useful, and they pop out of the way when they're not in use. So you get to make use of your space. The original Porsche CDR 220 head unit in place, pop this button and the CD player gets exposed. There's also an amp inside the front trunk, which we'll show you when we get there. There's a picture of this cigarette lighter on our listing, and it's clean as a whistle. I don't think that's ever been used. But other buttons here, Porsche stability management. So Porsche's version of traction control at the time. This is a power lock button, a rear defrost. So there is a glass window in place in the soft top. And this is the top operation button. A couple of retractable CD holders. I say a couple, but there are in fact 4. And automatic climate control with settings for the temperature to control the air conditioning. Before we put the top down, we had the AC running, and the AC blows cold. Nice Boxster S emblem here. Here's the shifter with 6 speeds and a nice leather boot, not a vinyl boot, that's leather. Power window controls, seat heater controls. So this is typically going to be a fair weather car, but if it's ever out in the chill, seat heaters. This could be used as an ashtray, but it's plastic. It certainly has never been used as an ashtray. I think most use it probably as a change purse. And this key operates the console here. So you can lock it up if you have valuables in there without putting the top up. Proper Porsche floor mats, embossed, tastefully embossed, I might add, black on black. Black carpeting. Right here is a stowage for an umbrella. I myself used to have a 911 996 of the same year, and mine came with an umbrella. I'm not sure if this Boxster came with an umbrella, but if it did, it's not included. We don't have it anymore. Speaking of non-inclusions, excuse me, the only other one I can think of, I talked about the Judges Award and the Best in Class Award at the 2019 PCA UCR Concours. The trophies awarded that day are photographed on our listing. However, they're not included with the sale. The current owner of the car wants to keep them. So releases for both the front trunk and rear trunk are right here beside the power driver's seat, heated as well, I think I mentioned. So taking a look underneath the front trunk. First things first, here's the option code sticker. So Porsche aficionados will recognize that. It's always nice to still have it. You can look those up, but as you say, we've listed them on our listing towards the end of the text. Couple of refill items there, like washer fluid. Under here is where you'd find the battery. I'm not going to pull that out now. Here's the amplifier for the stereo I mentioned. Inside here is a Space Saver spare tire. Looks to me to be unused, certainly. There's a car cover, and that's included with the car. And another accessory. I'm going to have to ask and update you what this is. I am not sure what it is. but certainly it looks like it's a Porsche OEM item. So it might sound a little counterintuitive, but with both the front trunk and the rear trunk, this Boxster does have quite a bit of storage space. This isn't so deep in terms of the length of the car, but it's deep in terms of height. And then there's just some other information about tires. Certainly, the only two items that have been changed on the car have been the tires and the fluids, and the current tires are the stock size. So working our way around to the rear of the car, let's take a look at the rear trunk. So interesting piece. I'm a little disappointed we didn't have these in place for the video, but we do have some photos of them. These are the Speedster rears of the that go in place behind the seats. I'll take one out, and you can kind of get a sense of how it looks when in place. It's probably worth bringing the camera over to this side for this shot. So those snap into place. They are included in that list of options I mentioned that we have listed in our listing. But as you may know, the 981 and 982 series Spyders are worth quite a bit more than the base Spyders, or the base Boxsters rather. So there's a base Boxster now as well as a Boxster Spyder. The Spyders are worth a ton more money. In these days, there was not a proper Spyder, but they call this the Spyder rear. But it really does wake up the sporty look of the car when they're in place. In fact, this car attended our recent Cars and Coffee. I believe the date was July 14th. Certainly on the website, you can search up under our What We've Seen section. You can see some of the pictures that the man shooting the video right now took, because we put a page together of it to document the event, and this car was in attendance, and the pictures of it there have the Spyder finishers in place, and we do have some on the listing as well. A couple other little items. So a little bit of bonus trunk space, like I say. The fact that both of the Boxster finishers can fit in there would indicate that there's some space. A little bit of fluid, oil dipstick, oil fill. And then on this side, this is just a little bit of extra storage for something small. Looks like there's some fluid in there for a just-in-case situation. We'll load these Boxster rears back into place. This might take the owner to get them in properly. Let's see what we can do. I'm not going to fight with those. I'm just going to leave the door ajar a little bit. But we're getting close to the end of this video. I think I've given you a decent idea of what we're looking at here. Maybe the camera could get a look underneath the car. I'm not sure how well we'll do with video of the underside, but there are extensive photos of the underside of the car on their listing. Again, it's lot 197 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. And they're even taken while the car's on a lift, so it's really easy to see the clean nature. You can still see the protectant applied at the factory. In the olden days, it was called Cosmoline or Cosmoline. I'm not sure if it's still the same material in 2001. I did point out the PCA UCR sticker on the windshield. On the passenger side, you can see a PCA sticker, so that's kind of the parent club. Headquartered in the United States, and then the one for this region is kind of the satellite branch. I also noticed Secure It, so I'm thinking this is probably the original windshield, which makes a lot of sense given that it's such a low mileage car. But yeah, I think that's about all I wanted to show you. You can see other videos on the listing. You can see the top going up as well. A short driving video, but CollectorCarCanada.CA, you're going to find this as lot 197, and really, you don't find Concours winners every day, so we're really excited to have this one. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and that'll ensure you get our videos just as quickly as they are released. CollectorCarCanada.CA, lot 197, 2001 Porsche Boxster S, 6-speed manual with under 35,000 kilometers in speed yellow on black full leather. Please take a look, and thank you for watching.